I agree with you, Namrata. Like to resolve the conflict, definitely clarity of mind and communication is the key. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
sharing your perception.
thank
So,
you.
Namrata has been unstoppable and made her mark in Indian women's skydiving team as first ever woman and have done skydiving from 14,000 feet as a skydiver. What core values and beliefs help you to achieve this? I'm really thrilled to know, Namrata. Our viewers also definitely would love to.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. And yes, skydiving is one thing, one best thing, which is very close to my heart. There is something which I had that, feeling of doing something different. I always have conquering my fears. So while being in academy, Gauri, to tell you things very, very precisely, um, I was always fearful to jump from the ramp of swimming pool, okay, which was just 5 meters. And I always needed that push from my course mate. And then once when I used to be in the swimming pool, it was easy for me to clear the pool length. And this was something which was kind of bothering me, that why I'm not able to jump from that small height. Somehow joint forces started with my work, with my all routine work of army and all these kind of things. But that thing was there at the back of my mind, how to overcome this fear and ke aage jeet hai. And there I just read somewhere in my, while checking my office correspondence, we call it dark, that they were looking for the Army Women Skydiving team was getting formed, and I immediately filled the form, volunteer form, got signed by my commanding officer, and just forwarded to the Army headquarters. And fortunately, I got a call, and the training was done, which is again very scientific. The ground training was done. We were made to go everything. The mental exercises were taught to us, that once we are in the air, what all kind of activities which are required to be done. And gradually we were taken in the aircraft to start with our jumps. So the basic jumps start from 4,500 feet. We call them static jumps, where the parachute is tied with the aircraft, and you do not have to do any activity. You just have to be at the exit door and you just have to jump. And there were 5 static jumps, and we were around about 15 to 18 women from all tri-services, Army, Navy, and Air Force. And we were made to do, and we jumped. Out of we 18 women officers, we 3 were selected to jump from 14,000 feet. So what I feel for my, when you ask about my moral value here, is courage. And pushing myself from my comfort zone is something which I identified in myself, that if till the I could have just avoided that fear of jumping, not being able to jump from that height of swimming pool. But then somewhere it was bothering me, somewhere it was that when everyone is able to do, why not me? So that moral value of courage and moving out from comfort zone was with me. That helped me in achieving this height. Then of course I follow my leaders very, very meticulously, and I learned rehearsing my mental faculties from skydiving, so which helps me a lot. So when I say rehearsing my mental faculties, we used to be told to just stay aloof whenever we are going for any jump, and rehearse this entire jump in our mind. And so it used to be the entire process, that okay, I'm wearing my parachute, I'm walking up to the aircraft, I'm doing this, I'm checking all the kind of checks and controls, I'm reaching to the exit door, I'm jumping. So all this, the entire process of wearing the parachute, wearing the entire dress of skydiver, and then till the end of safe landing, used to be rehearsed, used to get rehearsed in our mental faculties before we used to go for any jump. And that really helped me, not in just skydiving, but in all aspects of life. And though I got my wrist also fractured while being in the trials, and these trials were in Bangalore only, and there were crosswinds, and the winds changed, and I had to land. It was a minor crack in my wrist. But yes, then again, I was called for Misa Mari for trials, and we got selected. So, to answer your question, my moral values of courage and my moral values of pushing myself from comfort zone really helped me to clear my jumps. And this is something really very close to me. I mean, I can really speak on and on and on for this on this topic.
Very awesome. I'm really proud of you. Like now you shared the tool also, like how we can make like mentally prepared for our
Yeah.
facing the fear. So definitely it will be useful for our viewers also who hesitate to take action with fear only. That only stops taking action.
Yes.
They normally do
Yes.
decisions,
Yes.
but taking action, there is a lot of gap. That fear only stops them. There is a lot of
Yes.
value addition
Yes.
you added today.
Yeah.
So to move on, I would like to know like whether attitude towards life has changed being surrounded by discipline, environment, uncertainty, or unpredictable situation after joining army.
Yes, definitely yes. And after my God, my parents, I do give entire credit to my organization, Army, to develop me, to make me what I am here today. Army does exposes you with such kind of situations, such kind of risk taking situations and circumstances, taking on very big responsibilities, that your attitude tends to change. See how attitude is made. Attitude is made where we are born. We have certain kind of external environment. Okay, with that external environment, we develop our belief system. With that belief system, our values are developed. With those values, our attitude is developed, and with that attitude, our outlook is developed. And
Yes,
as I very strongly believe in, yatha drishti tatha srishti.
yes,
So
right.
till the time, yeah, so what you will reflect, the entire universe and the entire external environment will also give you back the same thing. So what I was definitely, as a child, although blessed to be in an educated family, and there were certain core values which were developed in me. But then, of course, I've spent a major chunk of my life in army now, and they're the kind of situations, the situations of taking on responsibility of lives of your people, taking on responsibility of uh, million tons of inventory of government. So these are the kind of responsibilities which where when we are exposed with, they develop us into a different person altogether. So discipline is just not about getting up in the morning and just going for a run. Discipline gets instilled in you when we are consistent. And in army, every day is PT. And PT is just not what we do in school. It is getting up, whether it is snowing outside, whether it is, any challenges there, but at least you have to get up and you have to wait for the orders, whether PT is there or not. So that what happens, what when it is happening every day, you become consistent. And when it becomes consistent, you realize that you have become disciplined. So again, a person is not born disciplined. The situations, the circumstances, the external environment exposes us with such kind of situations that it becomes consistent. It comes to our behavior very, very naturally. And then we become a disciplined soldier and a disciplined soul. So that, of course, it does help me now when I am in corporate and leading my life.
Yes, I totally
So
agree with you. Like yatha drushti tatha srushti. It says all.
yes,
Really nicely
thank
explained.
you.
Yeah. So we know that there are different kinds of freedoms, like freedom of mind, freedom of speech, all those things. So which freedom is important to you? And if you had chose say, most important and least important freedom, what would they be and why?
For me now, I love my freedom of doing what I want. I just want to, experiment at a lot of things. I want to live a purposeful life. I am living a purposeful life. So for me, the freedom is that there should not be any hindrance. There should be opportunity. I can be what I am. So for me, that is the most important freedom. And next, to answer your question, that what is irrelevant for me is like, irrelevant freedom I see when I see people coming on dharnas and claiming it as their right to do or right to speak, and then creating all those kind of hindrances in the economy of my country and to my nation. That is very, very irrelevant and useless to me, and I see a lot of damage to my country, to my younger generation, to the people who are now, stepping in to make their develop their careers. Then again, freedom to me is, which upsets me, is having the prejudiced and limited knowledge, based on their prejudices and limited knowledge and experience of people. They start boxing and they start labeling people based on their biases. See, no one is perfect. Everyone is unique. So, like not considering women based on their gender, okay, glorifying them just as an epitome of sacrifice and not allowing them to speak. So let there be a freedom, let there be a cerebral equality, let there be an equality in the intellect of people, not based on the gender. When I talk about equality, it has to be cerebral equality. Then let everyone have, let women especially have their voice to speak. It should not come from the other person that you should do this. I mean, I always say that she knows what she has to do. Let her voice her opinion as well. And see, there I see the damage. Let them have their own voices and opinions and intellect to express. So let them be what they are. And trust me, Gauri, if we really want our country to be Sone Ki Chidiya again, we really need to have that kind of equality. Otherwise, our generations to come will have a really difficult and challenging time, not in terms of economically, but in many, many other ways as well. So that's what I say, that somewhere I see freedom to speak. Freedom to speech is taken in a very, very, in a very irrelevant way, because they do not realize that freedom also comes with a lot of responsibility. So they have to adhere with that kind of responsibility when they're sitting on dharnas. They have to understand that what economically they are bringing, that damage that they're bringing to the country. And since I know that so much of sacrifices have been made when we talk about freedom, just not about lives, but so much of time has been spent, so much of time of uh, time of youth has been in giving and maintaining that kind of freedom. So this really upsets me, and this I find is very, very irrelevant.
Freedom comes with lot of responsibility, and definitely we need to take that responsibility. Yeah, as a
Yeah,
citizen of
see, yes, it that's what I say. It's just not about losing lives. It's about people's youth, people's time. See, at the young age, Subhash Chandra Bose, at the young age, Chandrasekhar Azad, at the young age, we army officers. We spend our entire youth there. So let that be acknowledged, and let that be not even acknowledged. It has to be kind of understood and accepted at every person's end, that it costs a lot of time, it costs a lot of youth and energy of people, and that's why it should be respected, is something I believe in.
yeah, totally. From army life to your professional life.
Yes, my transition was pretty well smooth, Gauri, because I started very, very early. I was very clear that in 2018, I will complete my 14 years. And counting back 5 years, I started preparing my 5 years back to 2018. I started preparing my studies. I started preparing for the transition. I started reaching out to my friends, people who are in industry to understand what industry is all about. There was no stoppage from my family front. Of course, there was support from them. So I didn't have to think too much on those lines. I was encouraged by my commanding officers as well to make that transition. And since the preparation started very early, the studies I did in a very planned way, that where I want to be in corporate, which industry I want to tap on. So all these things which I started enabled me to have a smooth transition. So it was not a very challenging one. But yes, one challenge which I really felt was only and only when it comes to, to get aligned with the expectations of the people, which are very biased. So that is something I would rather say that I time to make them understand that there is something more to the biases. The biases have already done a lot of damage, and I'm a strength-based coach now. So now I have absolutely established myself. But yes, initially to make that mark in the industry was a little challenging. But yes, this is very natural. It comes to everyone, not just to me, but I'm sure with every and any kind of person. But yes, the kind of studies that I did enabled me to have a smooth transition.
Yes. When I interacted with you, Namrata, like you shared that you were in worked in tough places in army locations, right from Jammu and Kashmir to North Sikkim and East Sikkim, and you're influencer and a coach too. So, would you like to share any life's learning to our audience, like which they must have not experienced in their life?
Yeah, life learnings are many, many from army, Gauri. First of all, please do not get carried away by the movies which I see whenever I've interacted to our civil counterparts. I have seen them saying that, oh, we have seen this in this movie, we have seen this in that movie. I will not blame movies for that. Okay, they are doing their job. They're commercial and they have to earn money out of it. So they will show what you want to see, but then please do not make them as your idol, that, oh, since we saw this in that movie, so an army officer will be like that, or things in army are like this. So to answer your question of life learnings is something that read books, know the reality, read, have some real mentors in life, have some real role models, real role models, and understand what they have gone through in their lives, how their hardships have been. Get inspired not by real heroes, but by real heroes. He could be, or she could be, Mother Teresa, Steve Jobs, Field Marshal Manek Shaw, or Indra Nooyi. They can be anyone. And then, secondly, I want to tell them that please remove the word impossible. There have been numerous instances in my life where I have seen that nothing is impossible. And I have now come with an acronym with I am possible. So just remove this impossible and start affirming and start saying that I am possible. And then you see that with the change of this sentence from negative to positive, things will start changing in your life. Secondly, I would like to say, and I say this in every forum, be radically human. It is the demand of an hour. The pandemic has taught us, the nature has taught us, be radically human, just not towards women or towards children or towards old people, uh, towards animals also. It's very important to have that kind of respect and that kind of compassion towards other people, towards other living beings who are there and who are also free to exist as they are also creators of God. So this is what I have learned in my life, and this is what something which I would like to convey through this channel to all the audience who will listen us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely being human is the first core value I also believe in. And yeah, if we think that I am possible, then only we can move forward in whatever task we want to do. So thank you
Yes.
so much for giving your valuable time to share your experience as an ex-army officer. I'm very grateful that our audience will definitely feel blessed to serve our country and being aware and grateful to the heroes who selflessly dedicate their life to lead us a content life. I'm grateful to you for being a part of my mission to add value in people's life.
Thank you. Thank you, Gauri. Pleasure is all mine.
Yeah, take care. Dear viewers, please connect with the channel to get more insight and topics coming soon. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.